Oh, yeah. Is it Thursday already? Okay, we got to talk about this fifth episode of Skeleton Crew because it was mind freaking blowing. Okay, this was by far my personal favorite episode of this Skeleton Crew series, and I actually think we can go up from here. I think episode 6, 7, 8 can be better than this, but Jod did stab these kids in the back. We got a lot to get into and not a lot of time, so let's dive into all of it. What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing on this fine Thursday afternoon? What's up, chat? All right, so first things first, happy holidays, Merry Christmas. That was yesterday. I got a lot of Star Wars stuff. Now we're gonna go through all the Star Wars stuff I got. It's a lot, but they're really cool, so I want to show them off a little bit, and we'll get to that in a second. But Skeleton Crew episode 5 was on Tuesday, Christmas Eve. We watched it together. We watched the breakdown. The breakdown's doing insanely well. I appreciate it. But tell me in the chat, what did you rank that fifth episode out of 10? Tell me in the chat. And while you do that, let's say hi to everybody in the chat, shall we? Shall we? Inklewood is up. Brandon Baker in the house. Mike, how we doing? Mando United, how we doing? Skywalker Academy, what is up? Ian, how we doing? Fecon, what is up? Smilo Ren in the house. Adam, what is up? 50 Thunder, how we doing? The Lonely Clone, what's up? Sombra, how we doing? Andy K, Starship 66, Nathan, what's up, everybody? All right, if I missed you, you know the deal. Just yell at me in the chat. Let's give everybody a nice little.
Hello there.
General Kenobi.
Okay, so we're going to go through all the Star Wars stuff I got. And yes, tell me what your ranking out of 10 for that Skeleton Crew show was. But first things first, I'm drinking out of a new mug today. That's the first gift. I'll show off, ready? Check this thing out. You got Captain Rex. You got a 501st Ahsoka's 501st. You got some Hunter, Bo-Katan, Wrecker. Pretty cool one. Okay, but we do have a bunch of other stuff to get to. And we have a guest in the studio today. A guest. Any guesses as to who the guest may be in our studio today that's going to be handing me all these amazing Star Wars Christmas presents I got yesterday, chat? You have that mug? No way. That's sick. That's sick. Star Wars Theory? No. Good guess, though. I guess. Does it have Crosshair and Fives on it? Is Fives on it? I don't think so. And I don't think Crosshair is either. From the Bad Batch, I think it's only Hunter and Wrecker. But maybe. Sam, yes. Okay, well, let's bring her on. Samantha, come on. Say hi to the people.
Hello, everyone.
There you go. She's going to be graciously, she's cleaning the studio today. So she's going to be graciously handing me all these awesome, cool Star Wars things I got yesterday. So let's start with the Christmiest one. Sure. This one's pretty dang cool. I find your lack of cheer disturbing. Nice little ugly sweater. It's not ugly at all. They're saying hi to you, Samantha, by the way. She says hi. Okay, next up. What do we got next? We got a sweatshirt coming in. Sweatshirt! A Mando sweatshirt. Look at this thing. Pretty snazzy, if I do say so myself. Whoa. Pretty cool. Next! Another Mando sweatshirt. I mean, come on. Next! Oh, this one's awesome. Sarcasm and tech support since 1977. Pretty awesome. All right, while we do this, next! What did you guys get for Christmas? What Star Wars things, let's say, did you guys get for Christmas? Oh, check this thing out. Mos Eisley. Pretty dang cool. Live music all week. No droids, of course. Pretty epic. Next! Oh, I got a Stanley Star Wars mug. Pretty cool. Got the Death Star on one side, Vader on the other. We also got a... Next! Got some pop figures. Some mini pops. Vader, Boba Fett, a Stormtrooper, Palpatine. Pretty cool. Next! Episode 1, The Phantom Menace comic. I'm guessing it's from 1999. I have yet to find a date on it, but we'll check later. Next! This thing's pretty cool. Haven't opened it yet or haven't set it up yet, but it's a lamp That is the Millennium Falcon. So, like, the light just shines out of the blasters, the thrusters. That's pretty dang cool. That's pretty dang cool. Next! There's a lot of stuff, chat. Next, we got this. This will be another mug that will be featured on live streams. Of course, it's Darth Vader's head, but it's a mug, and his head comes off, so you can put stuff in it. But today, we're going with the other mug. Pretty cool. Okay, now next, I have a little bit of a game for you guys, chat. I got a gift that I was stumped by, which is very hard to do. Of course, I'm a guy who loves Star Wars. I'm not a guy who knows everything about Star Wars, but I was very surprised by this. This is from the Disney store. Keep that in mind. This isn't like some random company that's not Disney selling this piece of merchandise. It is from Star Wars, but I am dying to know if any of you guys can guess what it is, okay? Because I couldn't. I had to look it up, and then I went, oh, okay, sure. That makes sense. Kind of. It's a cloak, okay? So it's a cloak, and let's see if I can kind of show you guys. It's a cloak that looks like, well, this is the inside of it. It's a cloak that looks like this. This is the back of it. It's got some layers there. Looks kind of like this. And sort of the big key feature that you guys might recognize if you know the character at all are these sort of gauntlet things on his arm. This. Anybody? Chat? Luthen from Andor? No, but pretty good guess. It's even way more of a side character. Grievous's cloak? No. It's not Luthen! It's not Luthen. I can guarantee you that. Kymir's cloak? No. Another good guess, though. Another good one. Let me actually look up the character so I can show you guys. I would be absolutely shocked if any of you guys got this. Like, shocked. I'll even give you the movie that this character is in. Revenge of the Sith. Revenge of the Sith. Okay? That's your hint. Revenge of the Sith. And while we do that, let me put up, while you guys guess, let me put up a poll in the chat. If you haven't smashed a freaking like on the stream yet, what the hell are you waiting for? Do that. Thank you, Samantha. All right. Then we're going to go to and do this. What did you think of episode 5 of the Skeleton Crew, of course? But we don't have to specify that. Did you love it? Did you like it? Were you like, meh, I mean, it's all right? Or did you hate it? Tell me, chat. What do we think of episode 5 of the Skeleton Crew? Bail Organa, that's a great guess, and the closest guess so far. The closest guess so far to who that is. Has anybody got it yet? Hang on. Guy from The Force Awakens? No. Captain Panaka? No. No. Palpatine? No. Frodo? No. Bail Organa is the closest guess, Smiler, but no. Padme? No. Wedge? No. No. All right, I'm showing you guys. You're never gonna get it. I know it's a very side character. I didn't even know who it was. I had to look it up myself. King Shadow, what's up? Anakin, no. It is Satine, and no, not Satine of Mandalore, but Satine Vesui. This guy. This handsome fella right here. He served as the aide to Bail Organa in the planet of Alderaan during the Clone Wars, and he has one appearance, and that is in Revenge of the Sith, in one scene. I told you you wouldn't get. I told you you wouldn't get it. Okay. God. All right. But now since we got through that, oh wait. There was one more thing. And if any of you are fans of this channel, then you will really appreciate this one because I am wearing it currently. One of the best gifts I got all Christmas was the last one I got at the very end of the night, and it was what I am currently wearing right now. Yes, of course. That is the infamous blue milk dumping of 2024, the 100K live stream where I so graciously got a giant cup from the Good Cup that follows orders of blue milk dumped on my head. And the best part of it all, at the bottom, it says, got milk. So that's sort of the haul from Christmas. A lot of Star Wars stuff, and I love it. Oh, wait, we didn't see this one. This one fell on the floor, but there's another one. But a lot of Star Wars stuff. Absolutely love it. I guess word got out that I like Star Wars for Christmas, so I got a lot of Star Wars-y things. But this might be the best one. I mean, come on. It's me in 4 frames getting blue milk dumped on my head. Okay, well, let's get back on topic here. Hope everybody had a great Christmas. Happy holidays, whatever. Hope you got some cool Star Wars-y stuff. But we got to talk about this Skeleton Crew episode 5 because it was absolutely insane. And we just really got to talk about it. There's no other way to do it. Let's just break it down, okay? So episode 5 opens, and I know a lot of you probably forgot about this, but it did open. This is not where I want it to be. That's okay. It opens on At-Attin. We haven't spent much time on At-Attin since the kids left in episode 1. However, we got an opening scene in episode 3 and an opening scene in this 5th episode of the parents on At-Attin. We open with our boy Wendell, Wim's dad, who's working in some sort of cubicle-looking office space, whatever you want to call it. Now, the parents are trying to figure out a way to contact their kids, get through the barrier, break through so they can send a message to their kids to try and help them get back home, or at least find out if they're safe or not. They're worried about their kids, okay? And they don't want to go through the craziness that is the government, or whatever it is, of the supervisor on At-Attin. Now, we will get to who the supervisor is. Tell me who you think it is in the chat. It is not Tack Renid. It's not Tack Renid. I will explain later, but it's definitely not him for so many reasons. And I still see people saying that it is. It's not. Tack Renid is dead, killed by his own mistress, okay? That was explained very clearly in this 5th episode. However, going back to this breakdown. So, Wendell's sitting at his office, blah, 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 and he gets called in, or I guess has a meeting with, let's put it that way, with Neil's mom. So Neil's mom, whose name is Numa, Numa, something like that. So Numa comes to him with this device and says, we got to get through the barrier, but we need some sort of code or whatever. So she has this device to hack into the mainframe, I guess, to try and get a message through that barrier, which shouldn't be that hard to do, or should be hard to do, I guess, because people have been trapped on this planet forever. So Wendell gets caught by this security droid, and he immediately gets put to Farah's office, which is Fern's mom. Fern's mom tells this droid to forget all about it, delete his memory, blah, blah, blah. They have a conversation because they're trying to find their kids, and she's trying to do it the right way, while Wim's dad is trying to do it the wrong way, I guess. And Farah's trying to go through the supervisor, get a meeting, go through the government, all that stuff, and the other parents are not having it. They don't want to wait this long to try and contact their kids. They're in trouble out there in the crazy galaxy. But the weird thing about this scene is the concern for the fact that At-Attin's location will get out. These people are aware that At-Attin is a hidden planet in the galaxy. They are aware of that. That was made clear in this scene right here. So Farah knows that the location of At-Attin cannot get out because whatever's on this planet, which we find out at the end of the episode is an Old Republic mint, but whatever's on this planet is so important that it has to remain hidden from the rest of the galaxy. And even these people's kids are not more important than that. But that's pretty wild. They are aware that they are a hidden planet. They're aware that there's a galaxy out there, but they don't really know what the current state of the galaxy is. We'll put it that way. So they have that conversation, and that's the last time we see At-Attin in this episode. The last time. That's it. We really don't spend a lot of time with these parents at all. But we do go back to our kids on the ship as they are waking up SM-33. At the end of episode 4, SM-33 tries to kill all of them, tearing them limb from limb, and they had to turn him off. KB explains at the beginning of the episode that she messed with his memory or something like that, so that he won't kill them, or hopefully won't kill them. And they turn him back on after some conversation. He tells him about his old captain, Captain Tack Renid. Now let's talk about this. Captain Tack Renid was his former captain, and Jod knows him very well. He was the most infamous pirate in the entire galaxy. Tack Renid is a brand new character in Star Wars. We've never heard of him before. You look him up, he doesn't exist. Well, now he exists. But before this episode, he didn't exist. Tack Renid did not exist. Now, he's become the most infamous pirate in the entire galaxy, at least to Jod. So we quickly learned that this captain found the treasure, found At-Attin, found the coordinates. We know that from At-Attin. And on his way to At-Attin, his crew rebelled. They fought back. The treasure was right there on the horizon, and they all went mad. They were like, we can feel it. This treasure is right in our grasp. And they all went crazy. And SM33 explains that Captain Tack Renid dies to his own mistress, stabbed with his own dagger, and the rest of his crew dies on impact. They crash land into At-Attin. And that's where the ship, the Onyx Cinder, remained until the kids found it. Now the question becomes, when did that happen? How long ago was Tack Renid alive? Because first of all, his vault, or his lair, which SM33 calls it, was turned into a spa. So it's clearly been some time on that planet of Lanuma, which we'll get to in a second. But also, the Onyx Cinder was completely buried on At-Attin. In order for something to be completely buried like that, it takes hundreds, if not thousands of years. Now, somebody could have buried it. Maybe the people of At-Attin tried to bury it. That's a possibility. But either way, there has been a significant amount of time since Tack Renid died. A very significant amount of time. Whether it's a couple hundred years or a couple thousand is a big difference, though. That's the difference between the High Republic era and the Old Republic era. Now, we'll talk about the High Republic era a lot today because of the lightsaber that's seen at the end of the episode. It looks very High Republic. But there's a big difference between going back to the Old Republic and going to the High Republic. A big one. So, they make it to the planet of the lair of his former captain, and that planet is Lanupa. They're met by a boarding party that claims that this planet is a peacekeeping planet, and it's a place for only adults. A lot of actually sort of adult humor type things going on, or adult references, I guess, in this episode. You got the pleasure yachts, you got the mistresses, you got this adults only spa. It's a little bit of a sort of kid show meets giving adult humor type thing. So they arrive on the planet. They claim to have a reservation, even though that's a lie, and they land on the planet. They claim that the kids are the wise elders, as you can see right here. And we see actually Wim is wearing Captain Renid's hat, his captain's hat. And that's confirmed at the end of the episode when we see Captain Renid. They get their weapons taken from them. A restraining bolt's put on SM33 so that he can't fight anybody. Star Wars Santa, what's up? Then they meet this, they meet this lady. Oh, no, this lady. And she explains to them, this lady, and she explains to them that the banking clan is here. This is pretty cool. It's a very small, subtle little reference about the banking clan, but we've seen the banking clan quite a bit in Star Wars. From the Clone Wars to the prequel trilogy, they're seen a lot. Yes, they are Mun, which of course is a reference to Darth Plagueis, the same species as Palpatine's master, but they don't really have anything to do with each other too much. They do, but when Plagueis was alive, he's not anymore, I think. So Plagueis is dead, but let's talk about the Banking Clan. The Banking Clan and the Hutts currently in the Star Wars timeline during the original trilogy time period and after are sort of at a trade war. So when this lady says that the banking clan is here on an economic trade dispute or something like that, I forget what she says specifically, but I think that's referring to some sort of meeting between the Hutts and the banking clan to sort of figure this whole thing out, because they're at a trade war, so I'm guessing a lot of that has to do with meetings and all that stuff. We do see a Hutt later on that is yet to be identified, a new Hutt in the Star Wars universe, and we do see the Mun bathing later on as well. So we meet this lady, they check in, Jod bribes her, and then we meet the bounty hunter. So we're talking about who the bounty hunter may be in this episode. We were hoping that it could be a familiar face like a Dengar or a Bosk or somebody like that. It wasn't. It was a new character, which I'm not too bummed out about. It's this lady right here. Her name is Pocket. Yeah, Pocket. Go figure. And Pocket is the one who turns them in. She knows Jod by a different name. Not Jod, not Captain Silvo, not even Crimson Jack. She knows him by Dash something. Somebody help me on the chat. Dash something. And she tells the kids not to trust Jod. Now, this is hilarious. This seems to be going on with every single person that they meet. Don't trust this guy, is what all these kids have been told from the get-go. Of course, what's her name? Kim. Kim, the owl, told them that, and now Pocket's telling them that too. They didn't get the message. These kids are too trustworthy in the guy who just happens to be in a jail cell with them. Way too trustworthy. He even foreshadows stabbing them in the back in episode 3. So it wasn't that big of a surprise when he does stab these kids in the back at the end of this episode, which is pretty strange. Like the kids didn't catch on. Well, it's not that strange. They've been living on a peaceful planet and they don't know of these bad people that exist in the galaxy, so it is all pretty new to them. But it wasn't a surprise that he turned. However, it was still incredible. We could see it coming from a mile away. Every single character that met these kids and Jod said, don't trust this guy. So obviously he was going to turn on them. But the kids didn't see it coming. Okay, so we meet Pocket. She's the one who turns them in. They go into their room and they start to plan. They go into their room and start to plan. Jod yells at them, but we get to see, see if I can find it real quick. We get to see if I can find it. Captain Tack Renid's symbol. And some people have noticed that this symbol is very similar to the Nile's symbol, the Nile being the villains of the High Republic era. This is the symbol. For the High Republic era, they don't have Sith. So the villain of that era are these space marauders called the Nile. And their symbol, they have two actually. One of their symbols is like a circle with a couple things coming off of it, and the other one is 3 zigzags like this. So this is 2 zigzags, obviously, but some people have made this the sort of connection, the parallel between this symbol and the High Republic era, just another connection to that High Republic era. But we get the plan. So they're going to split up and try to find the entrance to the lair because SM-33 assures them that it's still there. We get the only appearance of Captain Brutus in this episode. I really thought we were going to be getting a lot more of Captain Brutus. I still think we will at some point later on in the series. But I find the lack of Brutus disturbing. I really do. He's such a cool character, and I understand it's probably hard to make him feel like he's alive. He is a werewolf-looking dude, and it's all practical effects. But he's badass, and people want more of him. Right, chat? Or is it just me? Is it just me? But people want more of him. So Brutus' only appearance is just saying that he's sending his other people, I guess, sending his other pirates to die. But they don't know that yet. So they break up, and this is where we see the Mun. Well, first of all, we'll talk about these ancient Sith texts and how they have, why they're there, and how they have anything to do with this story. But let's talk about this. Yeah, we can talk about it now, I guess. So these ancient Sith texts on the walls right over here to the left, they weren't really explained as to why they are there. This is the former lair of Captain Tack Renid, a pirate. Why on earth would there be ancient Sith texts on the outside of a layer for a pirate? Chat? Can anyone please answer me that? Because it's the most baffling thing to me. I don't get why it's there. It's very out of place and clearly put there for a reason. They don't have to put ancient Sith texts on the outside of this layer. That was just a detail that they threw in there. Dave Filoni, Jon Favreau, John Watts, whoever threw it in there. They threw it in there for a reason. But why? But why? Why, chat? iHodja says he could be not the first owner of the lair. It could be an old Sith temple or something. Okay. So let's talk about that. This lair is in the heart of a mountain. Do you really think that this pirate dude went out of his way to build a lair in the heart of a mountain? This planet is sort of in a strange location in the middle of nowhere, secluded on this planet of Lanupa. It's possible that this was once a Sith temple. Now, obviously, there's not much else to suggest that it could be a Sith temple other than the writing. But when we get inside the vault, inside the actual layer where all the treasure is, there is a little bit of details that kind of suggest it could have been something bigger than just a pirate's lair. But keep that in the back of your head as we keep going. Yeah. Chimere started with the banking. Chimere started with the pirate clan? What are you talking about? I think Renid just found an abandoned Sith temple. It's the possibility. Yeah. Neil says, I have a hard time understanding Brutus. Hasn't seen enough of him. Oh, sorry. I have a hard time understanding Brutus. I haven't seen enough of him to have an opinion. But he betrayed Jod and his captain, Captain Silvo. Nice nod. Wait, what? Oh, it's a nice nod to Caesar's Julius Caesar. I mean, Shakespeare's Julius Caesar. Yeah, Brutus is a cool character. Just by looks, he's a cool character to me. And that's why I want more of him. Did you notice that Jod is reading the writing? Yes. So Jod is really focused in on this writing. I don't know if he understands it or not. We're going to talk about, is Jod Na Nawood a good guy, a bad guy, a Jedi, a Sith? What is he? What's his backstory? We'll get to that after we finish breaking down the episode. But he does seem to be looking at this writing as if it's significant and as if he might even know what it says, which would be crazy. That would imply so much more about this character of Jod. And maybe that's why it was thrown in here. Maybe we were supposed to notice that Jod is really taking this information in, understanding this ancient Sith writing on the wall. And that could be a huge detail, a huge sort of Easter egg, or I guess detail, about Jod's character moving forward. Because we still, even though he turned on the kids at the end of this episode, we still don't know who this guy is. And we're not going to find out till episode 7, as Jude Law so graciously told us. So then we cut to what might be my new favorite character in all of Star Wars. Hang on. Hang on. Might be my favorite new character in all of Star Wars. His name is Cathalps? I think. Cathalps? Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's Cathalps. I don't even know my favorite new character's name. It's Cathalps. Cathalps is the goat, okay? He helps the kids get into the lair by destroying the entrance. And he's first established sort of as a threat to the kids, but then immediately he's just a friend. He's just trying to help out. He just wants to hear a nice story. If I wanted to be any character in Star Wars, I think it's Cathalps. He's the goat. The absolute goat. So we meet Cathalps, and he helps him get inside of the lair, which is pretty cool. Inklet with a very generous $2 holla. I appreciate that. Says, I love Cathalps. And a Rathtar impression, please. A Rathtar impression? You mean just a bunch of crazy noises? I could do that for you. Actually, can I do it after the breakdown, Inklet? remind me so I don't forget, but I'll do it after the breakdown. But yes, Cathalpis is the goat, and let's keep going. All right, I appreciate it. Cathalpis. Yeah. Okay, back to the breakdown. So we meet Cathalpis, he helps them get inside, and then we see the pirates have arrived outside. So the pirates are right on their trail now, or right on their tail. Trail, same thing. They're right behind them, so they have to work quickly. They come across some booby traps. The first one almost cuts off their heads as Neil steps on it, and they get into a pretty big argument about it. So they step on the first booby trap, Neil steps on it, and Jod's like, all right, I'm going to stay behind. And then she's like, no, you're not. And they're still arguing, of course, about who's in charge here. Then they come across the next booby trap. And this one is a pool of acid. Hang on. This one is a pool of acid. Why can't I? Oh, there we go. This one's a pool of acid. Okay. Darth Vacunar, what's up? And KB looks up and notices that there's a riddle on the ceiling. And the riddle pretty much says you have to give up what you value most. Something along those lines. Somebody tell me in the chat what it exactly says. But it says something along those lines. So the kids immediately think their lives, because their lives are probably the most important thing. But to a pirate, that's not the case. It's treasure. So Jod just happens to have one more Old Republic credit on him. So he throws it into the acid and it all drains away. Pretty wild. I mean, when you think about it, how on earth does this booby trap understand that he threw a treasure into there? I don't know. Have to do the ultimate sacrifice. That's what it was. The ultimate sacrifice. And the ultimate sacrifice to a pirate is not their lives, it's treasure. So it drains down and they enter the treasure room, which we'll see right about here. They enter, oh, come on. They enter the treasure room. Now, there is not really a lot of cool little Easter eggs in the background of this treasure room like I thought there was going to be, like holocrons or, I don't know, lightsabers. Well, there is one, but stuff like that. There wasn't really much of it. Even the background items are kind of just vases or chandeliers or just gold or in general. It's not really much. However, the writing on the wall is what's pretty interesting to me. This is pretty dang old, and honestly, to me, doesn't look like a pirate would have made it, suggesting the possibility, like the writing outside being ancient Sith texts, the possibility of this being an old Sith temple. I know, crazy. But let's talk about the lightsaber. So they start to spread out and still looking for booby traps. They don't want to trip any, and they come upon, why does it do that? They come upon, or Wim comes upon, a lightsaber. Now let's talk about this for a second. I have never seen this lightsaber in Star Wars before. Tell me if you have, because I haven't. I did so much research as I was trying to make my breakdown video as quickly as possible on Christmas Eve, and I couldn't find it. This lightsaber doesn't exist, which makes me believe that it is a new lightsaber. That's not that crazy. There's a bajillion lightsabers out there in the Star Wars galaxy. Maybe not a bajillion, but maybe like one less than that. But this lightsaber, as most people identified right away, looks High Republic. It's the gold in the white. It's the gold in the silver contrast that looks like the High Republic. You've seen that lightsaber before? Where? It does kind of look like the Temple Guard hilts. It does, but then it's blue. Yeah, it's not gold. Some people are actually saying, I wish it was something else. Like, I wish it was a different color. I kind of agree with that. We've seen a lot of blue lightsabers in Star Wars, and a different color would kind of be pretty cool. Yeah. Oh, in Skeleton Crew. Hilarious, Adam. Hilarious. You got my hopes up for a second. Yeah. So it looks very High Republic era, which kind of gives us a time frame, possibly, of when this Tac Renid was around. We're talking hundreds and hundreds of years ago. Not thousands, not the Old Republic era, but the High Republic era, which is pretty interesting. We do get a reference to the Old Republic in a little bit, and it actually kind of also confirms that these planets were hidden away in the Old Republic era. Because if Tac Renid was looking for At-Attin, that means At-Attin was already hidden away for quite some time. It had already become a legend, a myth. So people didn't know where it was. That means if he was around during the High Republic era, he was looking for something far older than the High Republic era, which brings us to the Old Republic. And of course, we'll talk about the Old Republic Mint in a second. So now we're talking Tak Rened is most likely, or was most likely, alive during the High Republic era, a couple hundred years before the prequel trilogy. And he was looking for something, that something being At-Attin. He was looking for At-Attin, which seems to be hundreds, if not thousands, of years older. So the 9 hidden planets, we can assume, if we use our big boy brains and big girl brains, that these 9 planets were hidden away during the Old Republic era by whoever was in charge of the galaxy at the time. They were hiding different things, like an Old Republic Mint, or who knows what else was on different planets. Maybe every 9, each planet had a different purpose. I don't know. I have no idea. But they hid away the 9 planets thousands of years ago. Then they became a myth, 8 of them being destroyed. At-Attin remains hidden. It becomes a legend. Only pirates believe in it. Only crazy people believe in it. And Tak Rened believes. And he actually finds the coordinates there too. And that is in the High Republic era. And we know that because of the High Republic lightsaber in his lair. So we're kind of getting a more clear glimpse as to what's going on in the timeline when this show kind of takes place in the timeline, I guess. It's not established 100%, so take it with a giant grain of salt, but it is still kind of being a little bit clearer with this lightsaber. So Wim finds the lightsaber, which he actually takes off of the podium. He takes it right off, right in this scene. We just don't see it happen. And then we get Neil finds this roast on the table that should be destroyed, should be whatever. And it's not. It's still perfectly fine. It's still perfectly intact. Hasn't rotted after all these years. That's where they find the data pad, or the data port, I should say. So they pull up the data port and they find the coordinates using SM-33. They find the coordinates to At-Attin. Finally, they did it. A way back home. Spider-Man No Way Home? No, Spider-Man Found My Way Home. They did it. They find their way back home, but Jod Na Nawood has a different plan. He's going to kill the pirates that are banging on the door outside by refilling the acid, which SM-33 can do. Right away, instant switch. He just murdered people right outside the door. This isn't the first time he's murdered people. Is it? In front of the kids? Maybe it is. Is it not? This might be the first time that he murders people in front of the kids. And he's got more of a twistaroo coming anyway. He's got more of a downfall coming. So not only does he do that, but he's looking for the treasure. Does the treasure actually exist? So he has SM-33 pull up the recording of Tak Rened. Now let's see. That's probably the best look we're gonna get, Chet. You kind of get a glimpse of his face here too. I think he was probably a weak way. You can kind of see some spikes, like a little bit of spikes maybe right there. I don't know. They clearly hit his face for a reason, but I don't know why. I don't know. He was just an old pirate. We don't really need to know what his face looks like, but whatever. So he tells us that the At-Attin treasure does exist. And not only that, he tells us what it is. And what it is an Old Republic mint. The reason that it was called the Eternal Treasure is because you can print all the amount of credits that you want. All the money in the galaxy you could desire, you can print it with the Old Republic mint. It's an infinite money glitch from GTA. That's what Jod is looking for right now. And that, to a pirate, is everything. It's the treasure. It's infinite. The Eternal Treasure on At-Attin is an Old Republic mint. And remember, Old Republic mint, not High Republic mint. Very important. And honestly, you have to think at this time in the galaxy, Old Republic credits must be far more valuable than New Republic credits or even Imperial credits. or whatever came, the Republic credits before that. So it's clear that this old Republic mint is the most important thing. And it still exists, at least we think it does, on At-Attin. It might not. I mean, yes, they have credits on At-Attin, but plus, it must, right? But where would it be? In the Supervisor's Tower? I feel like it must be something really, really big, you know? Abby, what's up? Yeah. Bro found the infinite money glitch. He did. He hasn't found it yet, but he knows that it exists now. He knows that it exists. Robert, how we doing? All right. Well, let's get to this ending, shall we? So, Jod starts to think about this for a second. And he goes, an old Republic mint? First of all, I got the coordinates. I know where the treasure is, or what the treasure is at least. And I know how to get there. And I have a ship to get there too. So I don't need these kids anymore. So Fern realizes that too. And she says, remember, we had a deal. You will take us back home and we will give you your reward. But Jod doesn't need them anymore. He turns around and tells SM-33 that he would like to fight. He wants to take the captain's position by challenging Fern to a hand-to-hand combat to the death. Yeah. Now, some fans were saying that they didn't think that Jod would have done it. If Fern didn't yield, that he wouldn't have killed her. I don't know. There's a weird thing. Some fans still have hope that Jod is going to come back around, save the kids in the end, all that stuff. I don't know if he will anymore. He was very, very, very dark in this episode. Like, he goes like that as soon as he doesn't need the kids anymore. As soon as they find the coordinates, as soon as all that happens, he knows immediately he's going to turn on these kids. And he doesn't care about them at all. But tell me what you think in the chat. Do you think is he still going to come back around or what? Whatever you think, he does turn on the kids. He does put that knife up to Fern's throat. And we see Wim try to be the hero. He pulls out the lightsaber that he found. Let's see if I can find the frame where he ignites it. Nope. Before that. Ha, perfect. So he ignites the lightsaber. It's upside down. I mean, talk about the perfect writing. It would have been cool if he ignited the lightsaber and it was just like him holding it and then Jod forced it into his own hand. But at that point, you're like, now Jod has a lightsaber. Is he just going to slice and dice these kids up or what? So the genius of the writing is that he opens it upside down. He's never held a lightsaber before. He doesn't know how to wield a lightsaber. He opens it upside down and it gets thrown out of his hands. It's genius. But it gets thrown out of his hands. It's on the floor. And Fern yields. She finally yields and Jod throws her off to the side. All the kids are sitting on top of that trap door. And Jod tells SM-33 to imprison the kids for intent to overthrow the captain, I believe, something like that. And the kids go through the trap door and Jod forces the lightsaber into his hand, igniting it. And of course, roll credits. So with that, of course, the breakdown of it all. This episode's by far my favorite. Again, rank it in the chat if you have not already out of 10 so I can see where you guys are at with this. This poll currently right now has 81% of you loved the episode. That is by far the most people who loved the episode. And actually, let's see what the rest are. And 14% of you liked it. So 15% now. Yeah, I think it's fluctuating. But 81 plus 15, quick maths, is 96. 96% of you either liked or loved this episode. That's by far the highest we've ever had. I gave this episode a 9.5 out of 10 in my breakdown, and having watched it again, I still stick to that. It might even go higher than that. It's so good. This episode was insane, and it stays on the course of episode 5s of these Disney Plus series being insane, being the turning point in all these shows. From Ahsoka to The Acolyte to the Book of Boba Fett to Kenobi to The Mandalorian to now Skeleton Crew. Episode 5 has always been a banger and led us into the back half of the season in the perfect way. So rank it out of 10 if you have not already in the chat. Let's see what you guys have for scores. I see some 9.5s, 9, 10, 100 out of 10. Okay. 9.5, 10, 10, 10, 10. Holy crap. 9.5, 9, solid. 9, 9. Wow. Those are some pretty high scores. 8.5, 9, 8.534. Nice. I'd love to know your ranking system. 9, 9.5. I'm leaving room for the next 3 episodes. I'm kind of doing the same. If I thought this episode was a 10, I would have given it a 10. I think the first half of the episode, all the goofy stuff, it was not very serious. And not that that's a bad thing. You can have goofy stuff in Star Wars. But it's the combination of that and the ending that make it a 9.5. If it was the sort of the last 20 minutes, the whole episode, then it would have been a 10 out of 10 for me. It was sort of just the weird beginning that threw me off. Now, the beginning was necessary. Don't get me wrong. It was very necessary. The whole stuff between Wim and Jod. He quoted Qui-Gon Jinn, for God's sakes. If you guys missed this, I missed it in the breakdown video, actually. Somebody caught it for me. But check this out. The line that Jod says to Wim is, "Your focus determines your reality." And that is the same line that Qui-Gon Jinn says to the Chosen One, Anakin Skywalker. That's pretty dang cool. So this, a lot of fans think, confirms that Jod Na Nawood was a Jedi. And not only that, they think it actually makes him have some sort of relation to Qui-Gon Jinn. I don't think so. Maybe they were Jedi at the same time, and maybe they knew each other, possibly. I don't know. Maybe they learned from the same person, Yoda, possibly. But that raises the question. Because Jod so quickly turned on the kids and had no care in the world for these children, which is by far not the Jedi way. They're supposed to protect all these people. They're supposed to protect the people in the galaxy, not just murder them and turn on them all the time. So the contrast between that, the ending and the big twist and all that stuff, and his knowledge of the Jedi, his knowledge of the Force, his knowledge of not having attachments, and your focus determines your reality. That makes him seem like a Jedi. So the question I ask you, chat, is who is Jod Na Nawood? Was he a Jedi who trained at the Jedi Temple during, or before, I should say, Order 66 on Coruscant? Is he a survivor of Order 66? And if so, how did he become this guy who has no care in the world for anybody else if he was once a Jedi? Order 66 happened 28 years, give or take, before this show. Meaning, Jod Na would have been around 22, 23, 24-ish years old. He wasn't a youngling. He wasn't Cal Kestis. He wasn't Kanan Jarrus. He was in his 20s. He was by far old enough to possibly even be a Jedi Knight himself. He was definitely old enough to not turn into this bad guy that we see in front of our eyes. So my question to you, chat, is one, was he a survivor of Order 66? And if not, is he a Sith? Who was he trained by? If he was not trained at the Jedi Temple on Coruscant, then who trained him in the ways of the Force? Because this episode confirms, as some people were still doubting before this episode aired, that Jod didn't actually even have the Force. All the stuff that he did in the first couple episodes were all just trickery, like Haja from Kenobi. Nope. He definitely has the Force. That's been made clear. But the question becomes, how? Zap says he's a non-trained Force user, but then how does he have the knowledge of the Jedi? How is he quoting Qui-Gon Jinn? Do Jedi have kids? Some have extreme circumstances, but no, they're not supposed to. They're not supposed to have attachments. So they're not supposed to have kids. So Jod would not be a child of a Jedi now. Only if the species is like going extinct or something, then they'll allow them to have kids. Ki-Adi-Mundi had like 7 wives or something like that. Of course, Yoda, we assume, Yoda and Yaddle had Grogu. Possibly because their species is extinct, or we really don't know much about Yoda's species at all. But we assume that Grogu is the child of Yoda. So that would That would mean that Yoda had a kid. Yeah. Jedi leave the temple sometimes, especially in the High Republic. That is true. There have been Jedi in the past that have left the Order. Ahsoka Tano being probably the most infamous of them all. Ahsoka doesn't become a bad guy, though. She leaves the Jedi Order because they've become corrupt, because they know, or she knows, that they're going down the wrong path. It's the same thing with Count Dooku. He does go down a darker path. He does become a Sith, but Ahsoka doesn't. Even Qui-Gon Jinn wouldn't join the council because he saw what was going on with the Jedi Order. Huh. Interesting. Baylan Skoll trained him? Well, I'd have to assume, how old is Baylan Skoll? Do we know? How old is Baylan Skoll? His age is not confirmed. Okay, well, how old was Ray Stevenson? Ray Stevenson was 58. Okay, so you have to assume that they were close to the same age. Baylan and Jod, that is. So to have Baylan train him, having only been 6 or 7 years older, doesn't really make much sense. He's the spirit of Darth Plagueis? Oh my God, no. 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 Could he have been held as in an Imperial facility, testing for Force sensitivity, possibly? Holy crap, I didn't even think of that. Is it possible that Jod was captured by Palpatine to be put into one of the experiments of like Mount Tantus or something like that? That's pretty crazy. I don't think so, but that's a crazy theory. I kind of like it. Anakin has 2 kids. Yeah, but he wasn't supposed to have those kids. That's kind of what brings him to the dark side. He's not supposed to get married to Padme. He's not supposed to be in love with Padme. He's not supposed to have attachments at all. And that's what drags him to the dark side. It's that coupled with Ahsoka leaving the Order, coupled with Palpatine, of course, luring him and the Jedi really just discarding him. It was a lot of things that led to Anakin's downfall. But yes, he did have kids, which he wasn't supposed to have. Yeah. Hang on. Let me scroll back up there. Wolf Moon says, I think the pirates will get the kids and take them to Brutus. And then they will all go to At-Attin together. That would be pretty wild. There's a behind-the-scenes image of Brutus, and it looks like his ship. They made a deal. I think KB has the coordinates to At-Attin, and that's all I can guess. All right, let's talk about that for a second. Jod, the way the episode ends, Jod has the coordinates to At-Attin, SM-33. In theory, he has the Onyx Cinder, even though he's not at the ship right now. He has the ship. He has everything. He knows how to get there. He knows where the treasure is. He knows everything. The kids, on the other hand, have nothing. They just lost the guy who's helped them across the galaxy. They don't have their ship, in theory. They don't have SM-33. They have no protection. They got nothing. How are they going to get back home? Well, the big theory that was raised is that that KB saw the coordinates too. So she, with her great mechanics on her head, was able to copy those coordinates. She was able to see them. I like that theory quite a bit. I think that's what's going to happen here. But if Brutus finds them, if they end up going back to At-Attin, bringing in a freaking war, it's not going to be good. If Jod is going to At-Attin with SM-33, the kids are going with the pirates, that probably means the New Republic's not that far behind either. There might be an all-out war, a big battle on At-Attin. That might be where we're going in the back half of this season. Let's talk about this for a second too. We're gonna watch through this trailer, the official trailer for Skeleton Crew that was released a couple months ago or whenever it was, because there's still some scenes in this trailer that we haven't seen yet. We got 3 episodes left. Now, a lot of them we have seen, but there's still 3 episodes left. And moving forward, we have no idea what the show's going to be about. We can assume that they're all going to At-Attin and we're going to see this Old Republic mint and whatever. But what's the end game? We've talked about this for weeks now. What is it? We thought it was this treasure room that we went in this episode 5. So what comes after that? Let's watch this trailer. I'm actually going to skip halfway through. I know it's a banger, but we're going to skip halfway through because all those scenes we've already seen before.
Come on, kid. Pay up. Whoa.
Where'd you two find an old Republic credit?
Over here, quick. I'll get you home. We'll make a partnership.
This we saw in the last episode.
But we have to move fast.
That we haven't seen yet. So these kids sliding down this sort of tunnel-looking thing.
Fast.
This is probably the trapdoor that they got sent down. Yeah.
I need you to take the controls.
Okay.
Neil?
Neil?
This is the big one. This is the big one. Jod walking out of the ship with the kids and a lightsaber on his hilt. This is huge. We don't know when this takes place, what episode it's in, but the kids are with Jod. Now, somebody mentioned that this looks sort of copy and pasted almost a little bit. Like Fern doesn't really look real in the background here. I disagree. It could be some trailer magic. They do have a lot of cargo on the ship up there that isn't usually there. But this scene hasn't happened yet. And we just saw the kids and Jod get completely separated. Pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. Wait, do we only really have that many likes? What's going on here, chat? Oh, sorry. What's going on here, chat? We only have 72 likes? Are you kidding me? There's 160 of you here. Okay, but this is the big one. This scene we haven't seen yet, and the kids are back together with Jod. Hilt on belt, not lightsaber on his hilt. What? Oh, I get what you're saying. Like the hilt is for the blaster, you're saying? Whatever. Lightsaber on his belt. Is that better?
A crew of...
Wait, what'd you say? Mike, you could see a security droid on the left? Hang on. Go back. Go back! On the left. What are you talking about? I don't see no security droid. You seen something I'm not? Oh, you're right. You are absolutely right. Oh, what a catch. What a catch. Who caught that? Who caught that? Navarro? Holy crap. All right, chat, check this out. All the way on the left, all the way right here, you see the arm and the body of one of the droids on At-Attin. I'm going to press play and pause really quickly here. There we go. Now you can see pretty much his whole side of his body. That is one of the security droids on At-Attin. What a catch by Navarro. This confirms not only that we are on At-Attin, but when you look in the background, it looks like almost a field of grass. Not really the city that we saw, or the town, I guess, that we saw on At-Attin. So it's possible that this is where the treasure is. They're going to the treasure. Possibly. Because this doesn't look like the town that they were growing up in, you know? I don't know, maybe. But that is a great catch. This is on At-Attin, and this kind of makes us think, what if this is the treasure? What if these are all credits? What if these are all Old Republic credits that they've put onto the ship as Jod's reward? What if Jod saves the kids, and this is his reward, and he's going off? He's the hero! Hang on, chat. Hang on. So I know I just said that I think Jod's the bad guy, and he's not going to come back. He's not going to become the hero again. He's not going to save the kids. But I am... Rewind, delete it all, because I completely have changed my mind. Catherine, what's up?
This is where the fun begins.
Jod is going to do the selfless thing. Here's my new theory. Here's my new theory, chat. Yes, we're going to get this massive combination, or sort of culmination, battle on At-Attin. Not the High Republic, the New Republic, the pirates, Jod, the kids. They're all going to be fighting for this treasure, for the Old Republic Mint. The pirates are going to lose. I think Brutus is a goner. I think Gunter is a goner. All the other pirates, dead gone forever. Jod will come in, become the hero again, become the good guy, and save the kids. Not only that, this frame, which I said is the most important frame ever, is now even more important because of this droid off to the side here that Navarro so graciously caught. This is Jod after he saved the day. He keeps the lightsaber, but now he has this cargo behind him. The cargo is probably this reward that he was promised for saving the kids. And he is not going to take the Old Republic mint. No. Instead, he's going to allow the New Republic to take control. The New Republic are now going to take this Old Republic mint and use it for their own advantage. And At-Attin will continue to be what it was before. Nothing will change on the planet. Maybe they'll be a little bit more open to the rest of the galaxy, but nothing else will change on the planet. Now, this doesn't really, this doesn't explain the supervisor and who that might be. But yeah, Star Wars Santa says the cargo could be the treasure from episode 5. I don't know if he's going to be taking any of that treasure, at least not yet. A lot of that was probably booby-trapped anyway. Yeah. The banking clan and the Hutts are going to play a bigger role. I don't think so. I really don't. I think that was sort of just a background thing that was kind of a cool Easter egg that some people maybe might have missed. Yeah. Okay, but here's where the theory gets absolutely insane. Okay? He keeps the lightsaber, and I'm guessing he's going to be wielding the lightsaber to maybe even chop off Brutus's head. Just a dream of mine. But he's probably going to be wielding the lightsaber. And if the New Republic are there, the New Republic catch a glimpse of Jod in action with a lightsaber, they might want to call up their good old pal, Luke Skywalker, or even Leia Organa. Maybe. But is it possible? Is it possible that Jod Na Nawood has this massive change of heart and actually goes to train or goes to help train people at Luke Skywalker's a Jedi temple? I know, it's crazy. It's an absolutely insane theory, but hear me out. Okay? There are a lot of moving parts in the Star Wars galaxy in the time of the Mandalorian, the Mandoverse, this time after the original trilogy and before the sequel trilogy. There are not many lightsaber-wielding Force users. You can probably count them all right now. The ones we know of, at least. You got Luke, you got Ezra, you got Ahsoka, and Sabine. That's it. I mean, you can say maybe Cal Kestis if he survives that long. You can say maybe Asajj Ventress if she survives that long. You can say maybe Quinlan Vos, maybe whoever, maybe. Balin Skull, I guess, yes. Shin Hati, yes. But other than that, it's all maybes. So there's not many. And if Jod is one, if he is a lightsaber-wielding Force user, and the New Republic see that, word's going to get out quick. And we might get a visit from one man by the name of Luke Skywalker. Oh, Mike. I know, I'm crazy. I fully don't think that Luke Skywalker will be in this show. I don't. I don't. However, it's a possibility. It's a possibility. I'm not crazy. You're crazy. I'm not crazy. You're crazy. Yeah. So that's the new theory. What do we think, chat? What do we think, chat? Fearless says, I'm so sick of and tired of Luke's Jedi Temple stuff. It doesn't play a role in this show. Fearless. You're so sick and tired of Luke Skywalker's Jedi Temple. We've seen it once. Once. It is the most important thing going on in the Star Wars galaxy at this time. And we've seen it once in the Book of Boba Fett. That's it. It is the glue that is holding all of this together. Luke Skywalker's Jedi Temple. And you're sick of it already? We haven't even gone there yet. It was being constructed the last time we saw it. True, we did see it in The Last Jedi as Ashes. Okay, yeah, twice. And maybe there's another Palpatine. Oh my God. No, it's not important. If it was, we would have seen more of it already. Well, the problem is Luke Skywalker's actor is Mark Hamill, and he is a lot older than Luke Skywalker is. So deepfaking Luke all the time is pretty difficult. Yeah. Neil says, I respectfully disagree. Thank you for the respectfully. I don't think they'll be using Luke again. Leia, maybe, but Luke, no. I respectfully disagree. I think you're going to be getting a shit ton of Luke Skywalker over the next 5 to 10 years. Like a shit ton. Mandalorian and Grogu movie, second Mando movie, maybe even his own show. Yeah. Natalie says, no, Jod is working to rebuild the Empire and bring back Palpatine? What? I don't know about that. The final battle is going to be between Thrawn's remnant of the Empire, the New Republic, pirates, and Jod, with Luke Skywalker fighting Jod and defeating him. And then at least one of the kids will go off with Luke. That's way more crazy than anything I just said. Okay? Way more crazy. With that being said, though, Thrawn has not really been brought up in any conversation. So can we talk about the big blue meaning? At the end of Ahsoka Season 1 last year, we saw Thrawn come back to the main Star Wars galaxy with a bunch of Night Sisters, and he went to Dathomir, but he's going to be the heir to the Empire. He will bring together all the remnant of the Empire and become the new ruler. So the question becomes, will Skeleton Crew have anything to do with that story? Anything to do with Thrawn? Anything to do with the remnant of the Empire? What do we think? I think Jod could be an apprentice of Asajj Ventress. So you think? Huh. That'd be pretty wild. Again, I don't think so, because they're too similar in age. They're too similar in age. You know? Fifty Thunder says, can anyone help me with this? This piece of equipment Fern uses to take a swing at Jod. Is that an ancestor from the Kenner? Oh, accessory, sorry. From the Kenner action figure from the 1980s? Looks familiar. What? What are you talking about? The thing that Fern uses to swing at Jod. Again, this Fern actress is doing some incredible things. It does look pretty familiar, but I don't know. I'm not too familiar with all the Kenner action figures from the 80s, sadly. But it does have this weird sort of metal piece right there that does look very familiar. And of course, Jod using the Force to stop it from hitting him. So badass. This episode was incredible. Absolutely incredible. Is that a Yellow Submarine reference? Big Blue Meanie? Maybe. Maybe. Mon Mothma could show up when At-Attin is revealed to the New Republic. She could. She definitely could. She was in Ahsoka. She will be in Andor Season 2. So Mon is sort of been a pretty key piece of tying all this together too. Yeah. The Mint can have to do with Thrawn. War is expensive. Interesting. So my theory was that the New Republic will find At-Attin, and they will use that as their mint. But you're suggesting that Thrawn is going to find At-Attin and take the mint for himself. Now, his new empire can be funded by that. That's a cool theory. So that's sort of more of the the dark ending to this Skeleton Crew series is the kids think they win, but they're winning for the Empire. They're winning for the bad guys, because it will be another perfect sort of analogy of these kids and this secluded planet have no idea what's going on in the outside galaxy, and they're literally fighting for the wrong people. It's like in episode 3 when they were fighting against the X-Wings that were chasing them down. Imagine they were fighting for Grand Admiral Thrawn, and they didn't even know it, or they knew it, but they didn't know that he was the bad guy. Nathan says, how about Thrawn is the supervisor? All right, let's talk to Supervisor. Well, first of all, let me completely put this crazy theory by Nathan down. The Supervisor is not Grand Admiral Thrawn. Thrawn was just secluded on Peridia in a completely different galaxy. How would he be the Supervisor on At-Attin and also be in a different galaxy? That's impossible. Yeah. Your pal Joe, what is up?
Hello there.
So who is the Supervisor? Who do we think? Rathar impression. Thank you. Yes. All right. While you put that in, while you tell me who the Supervisor is in the chat, let me look this up. Or Inklet, who very generously super chatted to Dalahala. Let me find this. Oh,
This was a mistake!
Huge!
how am I to make these noises, chat?
This was a mistake!
Huge!
I got a bad feeling about this.
That hurt. Damn it. Can I get some good cuss follow orders in the chat, please? Yes, I got a bunch of new mugs for Christmas, but that is not taking away the good cup that follows orders, please. Worst impression ever, Ryan. You try a Rathar impression, Ryan. Jeez. Thanks, Inklet. I appreciate it. All right. So who do you think is the Supervisor? I have 0 ideas. Okay. Interesting. I like it. Some sort of droid. I do think it's probably going to be a droid because this planet has been hidden away for so long. Unless the Supervisor is like a new elected official every single year or every so often, then it could be a human or a different species. But I think the most likely scenario is that it's just a droid. But a droid that's been in control of this planet, and a droid that has control over these people, which is pretty interesting too. The Wizard of Oz. Nice, John. Yeah. Big cut on my arm I didn't even notice. Look at this giant slash on my... Who did this? Yeah. So tell me who you think the Supervisor is in the chat. And how many likes do we have, chat? Did it get over 87? There's 150 of you here. Can we smash a freaking like in this stream? Let's just take a second. Move that finger to the like button. It would be very muchly appreciated. But I appreciate it. Okay. Where were we? Supervisor. The Supervisor. Smiler Ren says, so I'm trying to make a Star Wars fan film. Oh, nice. But I'm having a hard time trying to decide if it should be set during the original trilogy or during the Old Republic. Well, I'm going to need a little bit more information on that. What's the story about? You can't go wrong with the Old Republic. I feel like the original trilogy is kind of pretty jam-packed with story. So I feel like maybe Old Republic. We keep forgetting about the captain's concubine. So yes, the captain's sort of mistress, or, you know, the other definition. That really hurts. I don't know where I even got this from, but it stings. Okay. Let's talk about that. I'm guessing Captain Tack Renard's mistress died with the rest of the crew when they crashed into At-Attin. So I don't think that anybody on the Onyx Cinder survived and is going to end up being the supervisor. Jod Na Nawood. Let's talk about Jod Na Nawood, shall we? This episode did give us a little information to Jod Na Nawood's backstory. Possibilities that he could have been a Jedi at the Jedi Temple. Maybe he left the Jedi Order. He has some knowledge of the Jedi. He's speaking in the same sentences as Qui-Gon Jinn. So very, very Jedi-esque. Is it possible that this Jod Na Nawood character exists? Give me a 1 into the chat if you think Jod Na Nawood does exist. Give me a 2 if you think not. Actually, no, let's pull this up. We'll end this poll. What did you guys think of episode 5? 77% of you loved it. 15% of you liked it. 5% of you said meh, and 1% hated it. That's awesome. We have over 170 votes on that poll. Epic. All right, let's do this. Do you think Jod Na Nawood is real? Yes or no? So if you don't know the backstory of Jod Na Nawood, I'll give you the most brief and quick summary. So this character only existed ever when you looked up Skeleton Crew cast on Google. Now, if you look up Skeleton Crew cast on Google, she doesn't exist. So she only existed there, nowhere else. Then, shortly after she was removed from the Google cast, she was put onto IMDb. So when you looked up Skeleton Crew cast on IMDb, Jod Na Nawood existed. Now, when you look at the IMDb cast, she doesn't exist there either. So this character that doesn't exist in the show yet, it doesn't exist anywhere on the internet now, and only ever existed in 2 places that she doesn't exist now. It's possible that she exists, but it's also possible that she doesn't. The question to you is, do you think that Jod Na Nawood is real? Of course, the last name Nawood suggests that she could be related to Jod Na Nawood. However, Jod's name might not be Nawood. He's had so many different aliases that he's told so many different people. So what if Nawood's just another one? What if he stole this name from maybe his Jedi master? Or maybe a Jedi that he once killed? What do we think, chat? Does Jod Na Nawood actually exist? And if so, what relation does she have to Jod? Wow. 83% of you say yes, she exists. Fascinating. Fascinating. All right, let's talk about this. So Jude Law gave us some information a couple weeks ago about what his character, or when we might learn about his character of Jod. He told us that episode 7 was his favorite because that's when we're going to learn about the backstory of his character. We just watched episode 5, so next week's episode 6, and that means in 2 weeks from now, he will be revealed. Whether he's a Jedi, whether he's a Sith, whatever his backstory may be, why he doesn't like droids, why he says this, will all be revealed in that 7th episode. Well, let's talk about this. I appreciate the hearts, guys. I really do. Okay. This is coming from Entertainment Weekly. Let's read this. Question asked to Jude Law was, so what has it been like for you? I don't want to say lying about your character for the past 2 years, but having to at least hide his true identity, as folks like me have been asking you about him and thinking he might be a Jedi. The question is, how has it been like lying about your character being a Jedi or not? And Jude Law says, well, it kind of comes with the territory, of course, being in Star Wars. I knew I was going to have to be cagey anyway. And what I love about him is he is full of contradictions. We've seen that. Through 5 episodes now, we've seen that Jod is full of contradictions. He's talking like a Jedi, but he's acting like a Sith. He's acting like a pirate sometimes, too. You don't ever quite know who he is or what he's capable of because he's sort of got all these different facets and faces and names. And I mean, if I were to use one word, I would say a survivor, right? What's interesting is he says, we don't ever quite know what he's capable of. So we know he can wield the Force, but we don't know how powerful he is with the Force. We don't know really how powerful he is at all. But he does go by all these different facets and names and faces, stuff like that. He's quick-witted and nimble, but is he a threat? Well, you just have to wait and see. I think we learned tonight, or I guess this week in episode 5, that he is a threat. At least a threat to these kids, as he turned on them like it was nothing. Then the question was asked, now that we've learned that your character's true identity is Jod Na Nawood, or Captain Silva, or Crimson Jack, or whatever you want to call him, what can you say in terms of background as a Force user? So these are the questions that we want answers to. And this is what he says. That doesn't really come out until right near the end. And you will really get an insight into his backstory and why he may be a Force user and is Force sensitive. Again, he's still not even confirming that he's Force sensitive in this interview, but he does say very near towards the end of the show is when all will be revealed. And that will be episode 7, like he mentioned before. And it was a detail that was always there for creators John Watts and Christopher Ford, and I went back and made sure that we were all on the same page as to where he was born and what happened. So a specific place as to where he was born and a specific thing that happened in his past will be revealed in the 7th episode, and they made sure of it. They made sure. Is Jude Law going to be at Star Wars Celebration? I actually don't know. Does anyone know if Jude Law is going to be at Star Wars Celebration? I know a lot, if not all, of the Andor cast are going to be there, but Skeleton Crew cast, I have no idea. And it's kind of interesting, but a very revealing page in his past, I would say. And he is not someone who has a childhood. So not somebody who has a childhood suggests the Jedi, because the Jedi take kids at a very young age and bring them to the Jedi Temple on Coruscant to train to become a Jedi Knight. It also could suggest that his family was maybe killed at a very young age and maybe he went down a very dark path. So this information of him not having a childhood doesn't necessarily mean that he became a Jedi, or at least went to the temple on Coruscant. He was a clone? Probably not, because clones... The only real clones we've seen in Star Wars have been Jango Fett clones. Yes, you could say he's a Palpatine clone, but I really, really doubt that. We do get some more information. In episode 4, we learned that his home planet tasted like ashy dust. So it was maybe a war-torn planet. That's what makes me think that maybe his family died in a war and he maybe joined the bad guys because of it. Like somebody mentioned earlier that he could be a Saj Ventress's apprentice. Maybe Count Dooku's apprentice possibly too. What if there's a war between the Separatists and the Republic on his planet, and that war ends with him possibly being taken in by the Jedi, or maybe even Count Dooku, or who knows who else. But he didn't have a childhood. That's very important. He's someone who's kind of had his childhood snatched away from him. He's putting it in a bad light, but it is what the Jedi did. They snatched kids away and took them to become Force users, keepers of the peace in the galaxy. But they were snatching them away from their families. So he's putting it in a weird way that makes it sound negative, but it is what the Jedi did. And it's why he looks at these kids with sort of a disdain. They're just small adults because he didn't have a childhood that he doesn't get it. Why don't they understand that they've got to get on and survive? He doesn't understand because he didn't have a childhood. He definitely didn't have the same childhood that they did, which is pretty wild. And why are they so inexperienced? He has no real concept of the innocence that these kids have. Then they go on to ask him about his pirate and stuff, and he says, I think it says he's a dreamer. He's got big ambitions. Maybe not the best of team players, because he thinks slightly different than everybody else. Definitely not a good team player. That's for sure. But this is the big deal. Someone who didn't have a childhood because his childhood was snatched away from him. Do you guys think that he's talking about the Jedi snatching him away? I'm going to put up a poll. I want to put up this new poll because this one's a blowout. I did not think that this many of you would actually think that he was a Jedi. That's pretty wild. Yeah. Golden G1W. I am Golino. I apologize if I mispronounced that. And I love Star Wars. I'm Italian. That's awesome. What's up? How's Italy over there? All right, let me put up this new poll. Do you think Jod was a Jedi? Yes or no? Do you think Jod was a Jedi? Do you think he trained at the Jedi Temple? Is this why he's quoting Qui-Gon Jinn? Is this why he's saying the same things as Jedi would say? No attachments, all that? And if so, why is he such a douche? Why is he such a bad guy? Why does he stab these kids in the back? What happened? Just because someone is Italian doesn't mean they're in Italy at the moment. True. Are you in Italy? I guess you're right, Lee. My bad. Yeah. He is the blonde Order 66 kid. He lived. Oh, the Master Skywalker. There's too many of them. No. Again, if you do the math, Jod would be about 20, 22, 23-ish years old by the time of Order 66. So no, he would not be the kid who goes, Master Skywalker, there's too many. What are we going to do? Yeah. He's a survivor, not necessarily a bad guy, but he is a bad guy. He just screwed these kids over because he's a bad guy. I think he's a bad guy. How would you feel about a Knights of the Old Republic fan film? I mean, depends on how it's created, I guess. Fan films are really difficult because they take a lot of money and obviously time and talented people to make, you know? So it would depend, I guess. He ages badly? Wow. Rude. No, he didn't skeleton screw them over. Nice. It's all just a cover. A cover for what, though? A cover for what? By the way, we never finished this trailer, so let's keep going.
A crew of murderous pirates is...
Oh, by the way, murderous pirates changed to murderous bounty hunters. It was murderous pirates in the episode. So, I don't know what that was all about, but it is murderous pirates the whole time. Why would they change it to murderous bounty hunters? That was so weird. Whatever. We got to see all this, though, in the episode.
It's coming.
Something's wrong.
They're not going to just turn up. We need to find them.
We're not alone down here.
Be warned of booby traps.
We haven't seen this yet. So we've been here to Lanupa, but we didn't see the two X-Wings flying by. And we didn't see this. The X-Wings flying by. They're actually blasting. You see this? They're shooting at something. They are shooting down something in the sky.
Booby traps. Pirates. And mountains where none dare to go.
If you hear this, don't give up. No matter what.
So we were very naive and thought that this was the treasure on At-Attin. I mean, all of us. We thought this was the treasure. We thought this was the end game, but it's not. So we do have a few scenes that we haven't seen yet, and that's it. And they all come in the very end of this trailer. It's this right here with the X-Wings flying past.
Be warned of booby traps. Pirates. And mountains where none dare.
This, sorry.
Where none dare.
This. The kids climbing up some sort of tower. I don't know where they're going or why they're climbing, but the next episode, we're going to see these kids sort of out on their own. Trapped. They have no SM-33. They have no ship. They have no Jod to save them. They're really lost yet again. Wim says it in the second episode. We're lost. Really lost. Yeah, you are again. maybe, just maybe, KB saw the coordinates, but that's a stretch. Now, the theory that somebody brought up or actually during the watch party, was that maybe Kim could come save the day. And that's why the X-Wings are flying by, because KB could contact Kim. Oh, Neil just said it right there in the chat too. KB can contact Kim to send the New Republic to come help. Yeah. But Neil also says, somehow in the chaos, Jod redeems himself and rescues the kids. That would be too quick of a turnaround. I don't think in this next episode, Jod's going to turn around and save the kids again. He just turned on them last episode. I don't think episode 6 will see Jod and the kids get back together. I don't think he'll come back around until 7 or 8, at least. Yeah. Mr. Spinner says, is anybody else rooting for him instead of the kids? Such a badass character. I love Jod. Jod's a cool character. I love Jude Law as an actor. He's doing great. He's a Force user. All that stuff. He's badass. But I'm definitely still rooting for the kids. Yeah. Yeah. Or KB will send Kim the Navi cords. To them or to At-Attin? I don't know. Texas Yankee says, Jod was bad from the beginning. He had the captain of the first ship in the beginning tossed out the airlock. He's definitely out for himself. Yeah, well, that's what pirates do. They just kill people like it's nothing. They come in and they murder all those New Republic people. Jod has always been a bad guy. But that's weird if he was once a Jedi. So for all you people, let's see how many people said it. For the 45% of you that say yes, he is a Jedi and he was with the Jedi Order, then why is he such a bad guy? Yes, that's true too, Sean. Bryce Dallas Howard is directing the next episode. So as a Star Wars fan, Bryce Dallas Howard has done some incredible episodes of The Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett and stuff. So I can't wait. I think he will rescue the kids in episode 6 for sure. No. There's no way. What was the point of turning on the kids if he's just going to turn around and rescue them a couple minutes later? Do we think all the kids are making it out? Yes. I don't think they're going to kill off one of these 4 kids. That would really be a shock to me. Yeah. You can be bad with the history of the Jedi. True. You do have like Inquisitors and Bale and Skull and stuff like that. That is true. That is true. But if episode 7 is all about Jod and his story, then we may have some flashbacks and we could see Nina Nawood see that she was a Jedi and she hid him with the pirates. That would explain him not having a childhood and why he's so bad. Yeah, I don't think episode 7 will all be flashbacks or even all be about Jod, but I think a big portion of it will be. It'll be like tonight's episode, or not tonight, episode 5. It'll be like episode 5 where, yes, we got to see At-Attin, but we spent the most time on Lanupa with these kids. So I think it'll be the same like that, where episode 7 will be all about Jod, but there'll be portions of the episode, like the beginning or maybe even the beginning and end, that have to do with the kids and all that other stuff. Yeah. He flip-flops quite a bit. It's not impossible for the next episode for him to flip-flop again and save the kids. Well, he'll only save the kids if it's in his best benefit. If it benefits him to save the kids, then he'll do it. They're probably just climbing out of where they fell in. Well, yeah, let's talk about that. Where are they falling out of? Like if they just fall out to the ground here, it looks like the ground is very far below them in this frame. But if they just fall out to the ground, then where are they climbing up to? Back up to the city, maybe? Back up to the spa? Or back up to the treasure? This might be the tube that they just fell down. And they're just trying to climb back up. You know? When they were with Kim, Jod said that the kids were the map. So he could need them to get back to At-Attin even if he already has the coordinates. Well, no, the kids were the map because they were the only ones who knew the coordinates. That was true until they found the coordinates. Yeah. With Wim's dad will Wim's dad be able to leave At-Attin and find the kids? No. No, he won't be able to leave the planet. There's no ships on the planet to leave. Well, let's keep going because there's a few other scenes here that might explain some stuff. This is weird to me. This is the Onyx Cinder right here. It's about to be thrown into this sort of trash compactor, trash eating thing. And the kids are coming upon the Onyx Cinder. So does Jod just completely leave the ship behind? Is Jod maybe being chased down by the pirate? Like, why is Jod not with the Onyx Cinder? Why does he not just hop in the ship and leave? Why are the kids having to go find the Onyx Cinder? And why is it nighttime? We go from daytime, where they're climbing up the side of this mountain, to nighttime, where they're trying to save the Onyx Cinder from being eaten by this garbage disposal. You know? Tim, what's up, says, could he have been trying to protect them, or could he have been trying to protect them? If they were prisoners and not pirate crew, they wouldn't be subject to the pirate code. Also, if 33 listened to him, then 33 could have made a sacrifice play. I lost you on the last part. But could he have been trying to protect them by just making them his prisoners? Maybe. You could always say that he could have just killed Fern, just chopped off her head right there and right then and there. I still don't know if he would have. Like, if she didn't yield, would he have done it? In that scene, Jod seems like a very bad guy. It goes very dark very quick, and he seems like he'll do anything. He will do anything. I don't know. It's pretty interesting. We still haven't seen the giant spider yet. Well, yeah, I think we'll see that in episode 6, because we see it on this planet. I think the kids will come down the sort of down that trapdoor thing, and they will end up where that crab is. It'll be like the sort of trash heap that they find Darth Maul in, or that Savage Opress finds Darth Maul in the Clone Wars. Yeah. He was clear that Fern should yield. Well, yes, he was. He was saying you should just yield so I don't have to do this. But he might have done it if she didn't. She would have had to get SM-33's trust. I don't know. But who's going to let Jod into the planet? I believe it will be very difficult, nearly impossible, unless he were a resident of At-Attin. Jod needs to be with the kids for ransom or a reward. I don't know. Like, will all the security guards just turn on Jod if he shows up without anybody with him? I don't know. I don't know. Nah, Jod is good. Go rewatch the last 20 minutes of that episode. Go rewatch the last 5 minutes of that episode and tell me Jod Na is good. There is nothing this entire series that has suggested that Jod Na Nawood is a good guy. Think about it. They find him in a prison cell where we found out that he was Captain Silvo, the guy who murdered all the New Republic people. Like somebody mentioned earlier, throws the guy out the airlock. He's the guy who is only doing this for his own benefit. The only reason he's using these kids is to get to that treasure. That's it. He doesn't even talk to the kids in the jail cell until they mention this eternal treasure on At-Attin. He's not a good guy. Once he heard the Old Republic mint, he changed. Yes, he changed because he realized that he didn't need the kids anymore. The only reason he's with these kids is because they were the only way back to At-Attin. Once they weren't anymore, they were useless to him. He throws them to the side. He doesn't care. He throws people out of the airlock but takes the kids as prisoners. Yeah, that's actually a great counterargument. I don't know. Why did he not just kill the kids? Maybe because he spent so much time with the kids and maybe he's grown a relationship with them. But when you watch the episodes before this, he doesn't. He doesn't really try to grow a relationship with these kids. All they do is argue with each other. they don't even like acknowledge him as one of theirs. Like the kids don't even respect him or don't even trust him. And he doesn't really need the kids after he finds the coordinates. He also can read Sith. Well, we don't know if he can read Sith, Damien. He's looking at the Sith text like he can read it, but we don't know if he actually can read it. You know? But there is a couple more scenes that I want to get to here. This one. This is Fern's mom confirming that the parents do get a message out on the Onyx Cinder, but the kids aren't there. So we just saw the Onyx Cinder almost being eaten a couple frames ago. And we assume that the kids are going to hop in and save it.
If you hear this,
But now the kids aren't with the Onyx Cinder anymore. These are pirates. The pirates have taken the Onyx Cinder. I don't know what happened here. How do the kids go from reclaiming their ship to losing it like that? Or at least a couple frames later. Jan says, Jod probably went from Jedi to Inquisitor to pirate. Inquisitor would be pretty crazy. I don't know. Star Wars Santa says he sits with Wim and consoles him. He tries to help. Rewatch that scene. Does he really console him? First of all, he sees him crying and he goes, oh, this? I got to deal with this? Are you freaking kidding me? No, he doesn't say that, but he pretty much says that. Then he sits down next to him. He's like, I miss my parents. Oh, boo freaking who? Forget about your parents. You should have no attachments. Forget about them. Tells him this galaxy is a wasteland. He shouldn't trust anybody. He says it's dirty, disgusting galaxy. No. Nothing. It's a different ship? What do you mean? This is a different ship? Is this not the Onyx Cinder? Is this not? Hang on. Hang on, chat. Let's see. Let's see. Trying to find a frame where we see the cockpit of the Onyx Cinder. Maybe it isn't the same ship. So you look at this. You got the chairs there and that there. And then you look at this. No, it's the same chairs. It's got that weird little thing there. And then it's the same panel too. Circle, circle, circle. Hang on. Going back. Yeah, this is the same ship. This is the same ship, chat. This is the Onyx Cinder. Okay. So this is the Onyx Cinder and the pirates are on it. 50-50. It's the same freaking ship. It's the same seats, same panel. The Onyx Cinder is one of a kind here. We're not producing them all the time. He also had a nice chat with KB in an earlier episode. Nice chat. You mean when KB says I don't trust you, and she said I ran the odds, and he tells her that not everything can be calculated in the galaxy, and then turns off the light. That was a great conversation. A great one. It's not the same. What are you guys talking about? Am I missing something here, chat? These are the exact same chairs and the exact same control panel. The ship looks new. Well, maybe they cleaned it. A flashback, but this is Fern's mom. How's this a flashback if that's Fern's mom? Who are the people in there? Well, this is a pirate. I don't know who this guy is over here, but this is a pirate that we saw in the first episode. It's 1000% the Onyx Cinder. Yeah, I don't know what you guys talking about. Show the other scene again? Okay, hang on. That's the Onyx Cinder, and that's also the Onyx Cinder. Actually, I know exactly where there's a better scene that we can look at. It was in this episode. It's in episode 5. It's at the very beginning when they're talking about when they're traveling to Lanupa. Hang on. Hang on. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Boom. Okay. This is probably the best look we're going to get at the full sort of scope of the cockpit. Right there. Let's go over to the right a little bit. So you got the chairs. Obviously, one's turned around because SM-33 is sitting in it. But you got the chair there. Like, this chair has such a unique design. It goes boom, and then it's got this little spike on it at the top, or not really spike, but you know what I mean. And then it comes down here, and it's got this design. You got this panel that has a circle there, bigger circle, circle. 2 circles, big circle in the middle. Then you look at the trailer, and we got chairs with the spike in the middle. Very unique design. You got circle, bigger circle, circle. How is this not the same freaking cockpit, chat? Now you guys think it doesn't look anything the same? What? And I think you're just messing with me. I think you're just messing with me now, chat. Either you're blind or you're just messing with me. It's the same. The ceiling, though? Okay, ceiling. Let's go to the ceiling. We got that weird light-looking ceiling. Well, we don't see the ceiling in this scene. Ah! Hang on. Oh, my God. Okay, look. See this? You talk about ceiling. This semicircle right here. This little semicircle with the buttons on it. The semicircle with the buttons on it. It's right there. Semicircle. Buttons on it. Come on, chat. Come on, chat. Now that we got that cleared up, Adam's just messing with me. God damn it. Okay. Now that we got that cleared up, it's weird that these pirates have taken the Onyx Cinder. Happy? Okay. But Fern's mom does get a message out there. You guys are so funny. You think you're so funny.
Incorrect.
Okay. Now that we got that cleared up, let's talk about Easter eggs. There's a lot of Easter eggs in this Skeleton Crew episode 5, but this list was actually pretty good. This list gives the top 14 Easter eggs from this episode of Skeleton Crew. So let's take a look at this. Top 14 Easter eggs and references from episode 5 of Skeleton Crew. Let's take a look. Oh, warning. This post contains spoilers for Star Wars Skeleton Crew episode 5. Oh, chat. If I didn't mention that already, there will be spoilers for episode 5 of Skeleton Crew in this live stream. I know we're like an hour and 50 minutes in, but there will be spoilers for Skeleton Crew episode 5 in this live stream, okay? So like if you don't want it to be spoiled, then you probably shouldn't have listened to the last hour and a half or hour and 45 minutes. Okay. All right, Star Wars Skeleton Crew episode 5 features some exciting Easter eggs and references, blah, blah, blah. Let's get to them. Captain Tack Renid. Is he replacing Exum? My boy Exum, or Zim. God. The reverse of Donner. I didn't even notice that. That's pretty genius. The reverse of Donner, as the Goonies director Richard Donner, Tack Renad. That is so freaking genius. Oh my God. Was a major pirate legend. As Jod Na Nawood puts it, the most infamous pirate the galaxy has ever known. As such, he may be the canon replacement for the legend pirate king, Exum or Zim. Yeah. In Legends, Zim had an entire pirate empire and was feared across the galaxy, much like Renid, according to Jod's claim in Skeleton Crew episode 5. So we talked about Exum before, or Zim before. We thought that this could have been his treasure, and come to find out that it's not. But is Tack taking his place in the Star Wars canon? Possibly. The mysterious Onyx Cinder. So finally, we get the name of the ship. We knew it was the Onyx Cinder because of the Lego set that came out months and months ago, but it got confirmed in this episode. The Onyx Cinder's name is finally spoken in universe thanks to SM-33 and Jod, who confirmed that the ship once belonged to Tak Rennet, and that the ship, its crew, and its captains vanquished without a trace while searching for At-Attin. SM-33 also confirmed that Rennet allegedly crashed the Onyx Cinder on At-Attin to kill his malicious crew after he died himself, or as he was dying, I guess. However, it did say in the previous episode that Rennet killed his crew on At-Attin. No. So the droid's memory may be quite faulty still. No, what he said was anybody who saw the coordinates in that room on At-Attin that he killed. Yeah. Casey says, I think Jod is Filoni's version of Starkiller. That would be insane. I don't think Filoni would do that. But maybe. Maybe. Yeah. All right, number 12. Lanupa's many names, including Battleworld. According to SM-33, the luxury world of Lanupa was once also known in the past as Demon's Rest and Battleworld. Coincidence? Battleworld is the same name as the patchwork collection of merged realities created by Doctor Doom in the comics Secret Wars, and the same name could be true in the upcoming Avengers movie of the same name. This is kind of just a little nod towards the MCU, I think. Battleworlds is a place, like it just mentioned, Doctor Doom creates. All the different multiverses get destroyed, and Doom pieces them all together into one world called Battleworlds. It's a whole thing. Might be happening in the MCU very, very soon, but that's just a little cool thing. The banking clan. We talked about this before, but yes, we saw the Hutts, and we see the Mun here hanging out, and I thought this was a wig. It does look like a towel, but the Mun. Not-so-secret supporters of the Separatists during the Clone Wars. It looks as though the banking clan is still active during the New Republic era. A few Mun are also shown in the Spa, the same species as the Acolytes' Darth Plagueis. Plagueis himself also had an alter ego, much like Palpatine was Darth Sidious. His public face having been widely known as an investor among the banking clan by the name of Hego Damask. Hego? Damask. At least that is in Legends. So that was just sort of his Palpatine version with the banking clan. New names for Jod Na Nawood. We got some new names for him. More aliases were revealed of Jod Na Nawood, or Jude Law's character, I should say, including Dash Zentin, sure, Jodwick Zank, meaning he's reused the name Jod. Nice. Dash Zentin, in particular, is likely in reference to Dash Rengar, the popular smuggler who first debuted in the Legends Shadows of the Empire. So Dash Rengar is a pretty popular character when it comes to Star Wars. Maybe it's a nod towards him, but yeah, he does, as it says right here, he does exist in canon now, albeit in a smaller capacity. So, I don't know. Perhaps Jod and Dash have a history in the Star Wars canon, particularly inspired by Jod, and it takes Dash's first name as an alias. That would be pretty cool. If Dash and Jod came into contact and he stole his name just as an alias, that would be awesome. Number 9, Guild's job. So we got a reference to the Bounty Hunters Guild, which we haven't really heard since The Mandalorian, where it became so infamous with Din Djarin. We hear it in the Bad Batch and stuff like that too, but we got to hear it again in Skeleton Crew, for sure. Did you translate the Sith hieroglyphs yet? No, and nobody can. I've had multiple people try. I've tried myself. Those ancient Sith texts, which are on this list, by the way, nobody can figure it out. Nobody. Which is weird, because the ones in Ahsoka, we were able to translate. But the ones in this, we haven't. John Groom, what's up? Yeah. Oh, let's talk about the Bounty Hunter for a second. Yeah, so Pocket claims she no longer works for the low-rent jobs of the Bounty Hunters Guild. Instead, she works for independent clients. So maybe that the Bounty Hunter Guild is starting to fall apart. Maybe. Captain Renan's signet. So this is what I was talking about earlier in the stream. One could argue that Renan's signet resembles the sigil, Jesus, of the Nile Marauders from the High Republic era. So I pulled these up This is their sort of actual symbol, this circle with the things. But I think what they're referring to here are these. I don't know. It seems like a stretch to me, but that's just on the list. Yeah. The Soaking Hut. One of the twins from the Book of Boba Fett. It's not. I understand the confusion. It looks similar to one of the twins of the Book of Boba Fett, but when you look close, they're different. There's a tattoo here on his chin, and the other one has a tattoo on his chin too, but they're different tattoos, and they're really not. Yeah. How long do these live streams go? Usually like 2-ish hours. We might go a little bit longer today because we got a lot to talk about, but we'll see. The Hutt's shown taking a mud bath. Looks to be one of the twins, Jabba the Hutt's cousins, debuted in the Book of Boba Fett. Again, I don't think so. It doesn't look. It looks similar, but not the exact same. And if it was the same character, they would have made them look the same character. They're different colors. They're kind of similar colors, but yes, they are different. Indeed. Okay, so here are the ancient Sith texts, ancient writings that can sometimes be translated. So, Jod and the kids inspect various carvings and inscriptions around the spa, among many of which look to be I don't even know how to pronounce that. I'm not even going to try. But also known as the Old Tongue, which has been shown in previous Star Wars projects, along with the Sith Tongue variant. Well, it's sometimes merely just decorative. Certain series, like 2023's Ahsoka, featured translatable Old Tongue Sith text, which was primarily shown in the extragalactic world of Peridia, in the fallen kingdom of the Dathomiri. It had references to Kujet, who is a Zepho leader, and stuff like that. It was wild. But we can't translate this one, which is very, very strange. Why put an untranslatable Sith texts, ancient Sith text, on a wall? What's the purpose? I don't know. You tell me. You tell me. Nerd Armor says, I was trying to see if the text was upside down and could have been older with an ancient Sith writing. Maybe upside down. Wasn't the one in Ahsoka upside down too? Or something like that? Maybe flips 90 degrees? I don't remember. I remember there was something weird going on with it though. Yeah. John Groom says, I think Jod has a connection to Qui-Gon Jinn after he quoted him. I don't know if he has a connection to him. Maybe they knew each other if they were both Jedi at one point. I don't know. Casey says, Filoni loves the Heir to the Empire books. If not a Starkiller type character, then perhaps a Joruus C'baoth. I think your Joruus C'baoth could be Terran Malicos, who's on Dathomir right now, or should be buried on Dathomir, and Thrawn might, like, take him. Yeah. Mike, can we get Samantha's thoughts? It'll be fun to have her chat. Is she one of the geeks like us too? She is not here anymore. She left, but I wonder if she's still nearby. Should I text her? Yeah, no, she's not here. She left, but we are watching Clone Wars right now. She's seen all the movies. She hasn't seen the shows yet, so she wouldn't really know. She's not watching Skeleton Crew with me. I'm not allowing it because she has to watch all the other stuff first. We're watching Clone Wars. We're on season 2 right now. And then we'll watch Bad Batch. Then we'll watch Rebels. Then we'll watch Mando 2, Book of Boba Fett, Mando 3, Ahsoka. And then we'll get to Skeleton Crew. Yeah. But let's keep going. So, number 5 is my favorite new character of all time. His name is Cathalps. Cathalps? I don't remember. But Cathalps is the GOAT. I mean, look at this guy. He's got a mustache and everything. Giant octopus. Crazy. But yes, it's the Star Wars version of the Cthulhu. Easy for me to say. Thanks to the giant octopus-like creature named Cathalps, it seems as though Star Wars has its own Cthulhu-inspired alien, both in name and appearance. Befriending Wim and Fern, Cathalps helps the kids access Rened's lair, located beneath the Skull Ridge Mountain Spa. Pretty badass. Pretty cool. Booby trap tests, very similar to Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Very Indiana Jones-like episode. This 5th episode was. It had a bunch of references like Indiana Jones with, of course, finding treasure and all these different things as well. Yeah. Yeah. The acid pool required that Reynolds saw the greatest sacrifice of treasure being bringing to mind the leap of faith in the Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Yeah. To protect the Holy Grail. Number 3 is Wim's brand new lightsaber looking very familiar. So the gold and white. The silver and gold, I should say. The silver and gold accented lightsaber hilt Wim finds in Captain Rennett's lair looks a lot like a protection in defense lightsaber, which could have been built at Disney's Galaxy's Edge. Able to be constructed using a variety of different pieces. The protection and defense style is inspired by the Jedi Order lightsabers found in the older eras of Star Wars. So it makes sense that this was one featured in Reynolds' lair. Likewise, this wouldn't be the first Disneyland or Galaxy's Edge Easter egg that can be featured in Skeleton Crew either. As we've seen the Star Tours stuff that was in episode 2, 3, something like that. Yeah. But this is very High Republic-esque too, but it does resemble the Galaxy's Edge lightsaber that you can build as well. All right, number 2 is the Old Republic Mint. So this was the big thing, the eternal treasure that At-Attin holds. We talked about it a bit, but an incomplete hollow message from Captain Rennet himself seems to confirm the apparent source of At-Attin's mythical eternal treasure which is the last Old Republic Mint. The last one. Seeing how the possession of the mint would allow someone to create their own extremely valuable currency, it makes sense that the pirates, like Jod, would be motivated to turn on the kids that he's been helping. So, because the treasure is so valuable, it was even more reason for him to turn on the kids. Yeah. And 1, can anybody guess what number 1 is? Oh, it already says it kind of there. The Pirate's Code. Huh. I didn't think that would be number 1. Are there more guidelines? So evoking a trial, I can't read English, chat. Evoking a trial by combat against Fern to get SM-33 on his side, Jod confirms there is indeed an official pirate's code in the Star Wars galaxy. Pretty interesting. This is just like Disney's Pirates of the Caribbean movies, which also have a pirate code. Though it was quickly confirmed there were more like guidelines rather than hard, steadfast rules. That said, it looks as though a droid like SM-33 is going to follow the code to the letter according to his programming, especially after Fern is forced to yield, which makes Jod SM-33's new captain going forward. So there might be some more rules that we don't know about yet. That's kind of what they're poking at here. But either way, this episode was filled with just Easter eggs on Easter eggs from the Bacon Clan and the Hutts, the lightsabers from the High Republic, to, of course, all these different things with the pirates and Tack Rennet. It's pretty damn cool. And, of course, the bulbs. Yeah. Pretty dang cool. All right. Should we... Yeah, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. Jod Na Nawood being a Jedi or not. Right now, this poll currently sits at 51% of you say no, he is not a Jedi, while 49% of you say he is. And I just caught a glimpse of my own shirt again, and it makes me laugh every time. Legendary. Okay, so let's talk about this. Is Jod Na Nawood a Jedi? Let's get to the bottom of this before we get on out of here, shall we? Okay. Star Wars gives 4 clues that Jude Law's character may be a Jedi after all. Warning, again, spoilers for episode 5. Skeleton Crew episode 5, blah, blah, blah. All right, let's do this. Skeleton Crew, actually, we'll read this whole thing. Losing my voice, chat. Okay. What if the mouse in SM-33's head is Captain Rennet? Well, we see a hologram of Captain Rennet, and he's not a mouse. So I seriously doubt it. Yeah. I can't catch my voice back, chat. Me. Okay. Jod is Qui-Gon's secret child with Nina Nawood. That would be insane. That would be insane. We don't see his face. Okay, but we see a big figure that isn't a mouse. Okay, let's read this. And why would a mouse be feared across the galaxy as a pirate? Something ain't adding up, chat. All right, let's keep reading. Skeleton Crew Episode 5 has just proven 4 major hints that Jude Law's character is a Jedi after all. Since Law was introduced as a part of Skeleton Crew's cast of characters, many have questioned his true identity. First introduced as Jod Na Nawood, the scoundrel was given another name that proved a deep-cut Skeleton Crew Easter egg, Crimson Jack. Beyond that, Jod was referred to as Captain Silvo, the leader of the Skeleton Crew antagonist pirates at the beginning of the show. Episode 5 then proved that Jude Law's apparent Star Wars Jedi with other names like Dash Zentin, further throwing his identity into doubt. Possibly Jod Na Nawood isn't even his real name. But, however, one thing that was underlined every identity given to Law's character is his usage of the Force. He seems to imply that Law's character is one of many Jedi survivors of Star Wars Order 66. We've seen countless Jedi who survived that event because there was 10,000 Jedi in the galaxy at the time. Killing 10,000 people at the same exact time, even with all the clones, it's very difficult to do. So obviously there's going to be a bunch of people who survived that. You got Obi-Wan, you got Yoda, you got Cal Kestis, you got Kanan Jarrus, you got Quinlan Voss. I mean, the list is just growing longer and longer and longer. Balin Skull, Ahsoka Tano. It gets longer every year, but it still makes sense because it's still probably, 20 people max? 20 people out of 10,000 is pretty good numbers for Emperor Palpatine there. Yeah. Which Skeleton Crew Episode 5 seems to further support. Via 4 major hints, Skeleton Crew may have just revealed that Jude Law's character is a Jedi. Well, let's talk about it. Jod Na Nawood knows how to use a lightsaber. The biggest hint that Jude Law's character is a Jedi in Skeleton Crew comes in the final shot of the episode. After the climactic duel, we saw Jod become the new captain of the Onyx Cinder, complete with a brand new weapon he takes from Captain Tak Rennett's vault. This weapon is synonymous with the Jedi, and Jod being the owner of a blue lightsaber. Now, he would have to corrupt the crystal and bleed it to make it red if he wanted to, if he was a Sith, but I don't think that's going to happen. I don't really think he's a Sith either. But, yeah. Daniel says Jod didn't need to betray them. He needed to be the captain for reasons unknown yet. Well, the reason is he doesn't need the kids anymore. He's been working for the kids. Now he can work without the kids. He doesn't really need them anymore. That's the reason. The lightsaber was hidden in the vault and found by Wim, who attempted to use it to defeat Jod and keep Fern as the captain of the Skeleton Crew's Onyx Cinder. However, the young boy lost control of the weapon when he opened it upside down, leading to Jod picking it up using the Force as Skeleton Crew's Episode 5 drew to a close. The weapon seemed familiar to Jod, and the characters knowing instantly how to power it up, hinting at a Jedi past, or at least one that involved a lightsaber. Jedi quotes an old Jedi saying straight from the Phantom Menace. So we talked about this quite a bit today. He quoted Qui-Gon Jinn. Another hint at Jod's potential Jedi history comes earlier on in the episode when he's talking with Wim. When giving the child a pep talk to give him more confidence in their journey, Jod talks about Wim's imagination. He states to Wim, "Your focus determines your reality," which is a direct quote straight from Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. The exact words were spoken by Qui-Gon Jinn to Anakin Skywalker, the Chosen One, in the first prequel film, hinting that Jod may have a connection to the Old Master, Qui-Gon himself, or at least to the Jedi Order via the popular mantra. So, tell me in the chat, do you think he has a connection to Qui-Gon Jinn because of this? Or do you think all the people at the Jedi Temple on Coruscant were just taught the same thing? Is this an actual connection to Qui-Gon Jinn himself? I don't know. Captain Tack Renard was a dark side user? What? Why do you think that? Why do you think that? Jod is just parroting Jedi quotes, that's all. So you think he's just messing with the kids? So you think he's just talking about Jedi quotes? And he's not a Jedi? Jod is more of a bounty hunter. Interesting. Than a Sith or a Jedi. Huh. I'd say more of a pirate, but yeah. You think they were all just taught the same thing? Okay. What if Jod is a secret love child of Obi-Wan and the other woman from the Clone Wars? Oh, somebody's brought this up before. Satine? I doubt it. I doubt it. It would be wild. All right, let's keep going. Jod's philosophy on attachments is a twisted version of what the Jedi teach. So obviously Jod talks about not having attachments. He talks about it in more of a negative way, but it is still the same part of the Jedi Order. It's still the same thing. In the same scene where in episode 5, another hint towards Jod's Jedi connection is found. Before quoting Qui-Gon Jinn, Jod tells Wim that, ironically, he needs to forget about his parents and At-Attin in order to focus on returning to the planet. Jod states that all of these things cause Wim to worry are known as attachments, and that it's better off forgetting them. Like the Jedi say, you're not supposed to have attachments. Jod insists that he has forgotten his own attachments, just as the Jedi were told to do from a young age. While Jod's lesson to Wim feels notably less moral than the one that's pushed by the Jedi Order, the end result is still the same. Jod may have learned this learned to forego his attachments as part of the training as a Jedi, hinting that he may be from the Order after all. So again, this attachment thing, not only quoting Qui-Gon Jinn, which is crazy, but the fact that he's saying to Wim to not have attachments, the same mantra, the same lessons that the Jedi teach. Okay, what about Obi-Wan's brother mentioned in Kenobi? That would be crazy. I feel like Obi-Wan's brother was sort of just a throwaway line there. I know so many people have wanted Jod to be Obi-Wan's brother, wanted Baylan Skoll to be Obi-Wan's brother. Like, a lot of people wanted that to be something. I don't think it is. I really don't think so. No. What if Jod is the youngling that called Vader Master Skywalker? We talked about this already. No, he's not. He's not, because he wasn't old, or that kid is not old enough. Jod would have been in his 20s, early 20s. The mind of Lucas says you can wield the Force and not be a Jedi. That is true. That is very true. You don't have to be a Jedi to wield the Force. However, he knows all about the Jedi ways, literally quoting Qui-Gon Jinn and teaching Wim this lesson that the Jedi teach. Jod is Starkiller. Steve, you are not the first person to say that today. I'm not a fan. I don't like the theory. I mean, I like a good theory, but I don't like that one. Jod could be a Padawan of Maul. I mean, in theory, yes, he could be, but no, I don't think so. I believe that Jod Na Nawood is Jod. That's the best theory all day. He could be Rael Avalos. Oh, Rael Avalos' son. I was going to say no, but still no. Let's get to the next one. His remarkable control of the Force. So obviously you have to have training to be this good with the Force. And levitating small objects with precision, turning on lights on and off, of course. Jod clearly has control and a big connection with the Force, implying that he's been through a lot of training, possibly with the Jedi Order, possibly with somebody else. So those are their 4 big things. His control of the Force, his connections and not having connections, literally straight up quoting Qui-Gon Jinn, and his knowledge of being able to wield a lightsaber. Those are the 4 big things from this 5th episode, that they're talking about here. So with that, I ask again, do you think he was a Jedi? I really don't know. On the one hand, he's a pretty bad dude. I feel like a Jedi wouldn't just hang these kids out to die, I guess. I guess he wasn't killing them, but still, he wouldn't do this. He wouldn't stab these kids in the back like that. But on the other hand, we do see Jedi turn into Inquisitors. We do see Jedi turn into bad people after Order 66 if they survived. We saw Dooku before Order 66 turn to the dark side too. But he wouldn't be the first. Yeah. He wouldn't be the first. What do we think? By the way, holy crap, really? With 124 votes right now, do you think Jod Na Nawood is a Jedi? We are 50-50. We are 50-50. Is he Luke Skywalker? No. No, he is not. He's way older than Luke. So how could he be a clone of Luke? He could be a fanboy of the Jedi, and he learned a lot about them. But then, maybe. How would he have learned, like, that specific stuff, though? Luke's long-lost twin? He's like 20 years older than Luke. There's no way he is Luke's long-lost twin. By the way, Luke has a twin. Chat. Could Jod be a Boken Jedi like Balin? Well, Balin's not a Boken Jedi. A Boken Jedi is somebody who got trained to be a Jedi after the Jedi Order fell, like Ezra Bridger. Kanan teaches Ezra to become a Jedi after the Jedi Order fell. That's a Boken Jedi. Balin is not that. Yeah. He is a new kind of Jedi, obviously. Yeah, that's how his character was described. A new kind of Jedi. Pretty interesting. What does that mean? Jod could be a Hutt in disguise. You guys have absolutely lost your mind. Padme had triplets. All right, I'm going to leave this poll up here for a couple more minutes because it's 50-50 right now. I want to see if it kind of sways one way or another. He did get taken away. Remember, his childhood was snatched from him. He's not somebody who had a childhood. Possibly the Jedi took it from him. Right now, I am leaning more towards him being a Jedi who survived Order 66. All will be revealed in Episode 7. Episode 6 is going to be a pretty big one, too. Because, yes, we're going to get the backstory of Jod in Episode 7. Episode 8 is, of course, the finale, and who knows what's going to happen in that. But Episode 6 is going to be what do the kids do? The kids just lost the guy who was helping them across the galaxy. They lost their ship. They lost SM-33. They lost all this stuff. Yeah. Yeah, I know, DP. I know. Obviously, Jod is in a Hutt in disguise. At least not yet. Yeah. And it's Bryce Dallas Howard. That's true, too. It's also Bryce Dallas Howard is directing the next episode, so it's going to be pretty damn good. Could be getting the New Republic coming back into the equation here. Could be seeing the kids call out to Kim for help. There's a lot. That guy B says, I believe he was a Padawan who left the Order. Interesting. He just wanted to live free and ended up becoming a pirate. Not really a good or bad thing. He just was trying to survive. That's a possibility. Maybe Order 66 happened and then he became a pirate, or maybe he left the Order and became a pirate. Could be. Andrew says, Jedi shouldn't kill unless they have to, and Jod definitely melted pirates, Steve Urkel, into acid. Actually, Steve Urkel survived that. I'm guessing a bunch of those pirates did die, but Steve Urkel did survive. We see him later on in this trailer. This is him. This is him right here. So
He warned everything.
yeah, that's him right there. So he survived. I'm guessing a bunch of those pirates did die, but he's one of them that survived. Yeah. I appreciate the hearts, guys. I really do. Okay. Can we all just spam the heart button? Sorry. Hey, look, it's the chat. Can we all just spam the heart button for a second? I want to see how crazy it can go. Can we just like go, you know? Just like spam it so I can. I want to see if I can like break the chat here. That's pretty crazy. That's a lot of hearts. That's great. Okay. Mr. B says, I think Jude Law's character could be a rejected Padawan. I think that Wim's dad is the pirate captain. You think Wim's dad is the pirate captain? Jeez. I don't think so. I don't think so at all. That would be insane. There's still a weird thing about Wim's mom. Like, she must have some sort of importance to this, you know? It's going to be a good ride? Oh, yeah, it is. How many episodes are left? 3. 3 episodes left. Episodes 6, 7, and 8. That's it. So we're really coming into the home stretch here. Yeah. He could have also been a child who was a slave like Anakin, and it was sold because he was force sensitive, and the pirates are the ones who bought him. Well, I do like that theory that he might have just been a nobody who was a slave or whatever. He was on a war-torn planet because he was talking about the ashy dust that reminded him of his planet. But the pirates don't know that he was force sensitive, or at least they didn't. Because he escapes the jail cell, but obviously he's going to escape the jail cell. You left the key in the room with him, and he has the Force. So I don't think the pirates knew that know that he can wield the Force. Yeah. He could be a gray Jedi, a Jedi that follows his wishes instead of the will of the Force. It's possible, but I don't know. I don't really know. Because gray Jedi there's a gray area. A gray area about gray Jedi, whether or not they even exist. Oh my God, we're almost up to 2.5 hours. All right, I got to get on out of here. Sorry, chat. Let me end this poll, though. Let's see which way it leaned more. So do you think Jod is a Jedi? 50% of you said yes. 49% said no. The math is not mathing. That could be a 50-50 split right there. It's very, very close. Could be a 50-50 split on whether or not you think Jod is a Jedi. All will be revealed in episode 7, but that means we have a whole nother week to predict this. We have no idea what's going on in the next 3 episodes. I mean, we can predict and speculate, and we will. Oh, God, we will. But it's pretty wild. That was awesome. This was an incredible stream. I mean, talk about got milk. Got some crazy cool stuff for Christmas. If you are not yet subscribed, hit that subscribe, hit that bell. If you want to join the Discord, there's a link in the description below to a Discord called The People Who Love Star Wars. Go join it immediately. And go send all your pictures of all the cool Star Wars stuff you got for Christmas in the Discord. Go join it, have some fun in there. Keep the conversation going, and we'll talk more about this in there as well. Watch out for a short or a video tomorrow, or maybe even both. And then watch out for a live stream on Saturday, Sunday, Monday, live stream Monday. And then, of course, Tuesday's episode 6. Quick turnaround. I appreciate you all so much more than you'll ever know. Smash a freaking like on this stream if you have not already. How many likes are we up to? Oh, we hit over 100. That's pretty awesome. I appreciate you guys. This was one of the coolest, biggest live streams we've had in months. So it's pretty cool. I appreciate you all. Yeah. I feel like I'm forgetting something. What am I forgetting, chat? I appreciate the hearts. I really do. What am I forgetting? I don't remember. I always end the stream and go, damn it, I didn't talk about that. Did I get to all my things here? We talked about the Easter eggs. We talked about the trailer stuff. We talked about that. We talked about the Jedi thing. We talked about no childhood. We talked about all that. I think we hit everything. Samantha, she left. She had to go, so she is not here. But if you guys want, I will bring her back. Not right now, obviously, but in future streams. Okay. Until then, oh my God, that just scared the holy crap. Okay, never mind. Sorry, I just got jump scared. May the Force be with you. Always. Oh, yeah, what a great stream. What a great show. You guys are the absolute best. I appreciate you so much more than you will ever know. Yeah. I mean, this was quite a great live stream. Shout out to Inklet for the very generous super chat earlier on in the stream. I appreciate it. I hope my Rathtar impression was sufficient enough for you. I hope you have a great rest of your evening, great rest of your lives, and good night, everybody.